Says, sorry, Stephen, but you're looking at 4 to 10 a year. What? It was like hell. It was like walking into hell. Honestly, I thought I was going to go nuts.
So you just can't speak at all.
No, you're not allowed to speak at all. Not allowed to look at anybody. If you do anything wrong, this is where they have you. Basically, all the time, that all you're thinking is, please get me the hell out of here.
What's their story, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Pete here from Thairish Times. So in this video, we're going to interview Steve, who's from the UK, and he was sentenced to 5 years and 100 days in a Japanese prison for smuggling drugs into Japan. Now, we've already covered part 1 with Steve, where he went into his life as a private investigator in Pattaya. So in part 2, we're going to focus more on how he ended up getting sentenced in Japan. Thailand is in the story as well. He was living in Thailand. Let's just say Steve wanted to extend his stay in Thailand, and this is a way he tried to make money to, well, live long term in Thailand. He describes life in a Japanese prison as hell. He couldn't speak to anyone. He had to have complete silence. There was extreme isolation. The punishments were terrible. He wasn't allowed to look anyone in the eye. So we're going to get into all that in this interview. Steve is he's quite well known. I mean, he's appeared on the new season of Banged Up Abroad. He's also written a book as well, which isn't published yet. But what I will do is I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel down as a pinned comment down below and in the description box as well. So when he does release his book, then I'm sure if you follow his YouTube channel, then you'll be able to get your hands on a copy of the book. Okay, so let's get straight into it and hear Steve's story. Let's go back to the very start, right? How did you get involved in smuggling drugs?
We were always up to no good within reason. We were smuggling steroids, cigarettes, t-shirts, you name it, anything to keep us there. And we were also doing very dodgy credit card fraud. We were doing flights and things like that, getting cheap flights. So, and that was a good little learner. A guy called, well, I can give his name, was French Joe. He said he knew these Iranian guys were smuggling cannabis, chocolate they called it. My friend who were there at the time, he says, we're going to meet him at Soy 8. And I said, I'm not going. I said, don't bother with this. I said, once you start doing this is a different level of smuggling shit. It's all right, cigarettes and steroids, but when this is that story you hear about. The damage done, all these, the books the last thing you want to do in Thailand is piss around with drugs. But he was on his arse. He was adamant. He was either join the Pattaya Flying Club or he was going to kill himself. He was getting the knife, doing that. Oh, I don't want to live in all that bollocks. So in the end, he ended up doing it. This was like couple of years before I did it. Then eventually there's quite a few people doing it. It was quite common and everybody was getting away with it.
And they were smuggling the drugs to Japan, was it?
No. Sometimes, but mainly Europe. This was from Nepal, out of Nepal, to all over the world, basically.
And where were they picking it up from?
From Nepal. It was grown in Nepal, packaged in Nepal. The first time I did it was from Nepal, but then all the coups started because I don't know if you've seen, I've done the new series of Banged Up Abroad, the program Banged Up Abroad.
Yeah.
I've just done that, and they did like a kind of a bullshit version of it because you were frisked a lot. They were searching everywhere. Like in the Turkish one, Midnight.
Midnight Express, is it?
Yeah, he got caught because they were looking for terrorists getting on the plane, and it was literally just like that. Then they were looking for guns and stuff like that. But ours was all in the bags that was already on the plane. So after that, it says right, the locals smuggled it down to India and down to Delhi or Mumbai, but basically it got smuggled down to India because it was easy getting out the airports there. It was just so dangerous in Nepal airports. So the first time was Nepal, and the rest was all through India.
You'd take it out of India then and fly back to the UK, is it?
Yeah, it was. Did like a couple to UK, Amsterdam, Copenhagen. I think that was it for me. I think I did it 4 times to UK, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, and then the last one to Japan.
the cannabis was in the suitcase?
It was in the lining of the suitcase, or the first time I did it to Japan, it was in the lining of a golf bag, a little bit in a suit, like a suit bag, a little bit in the very tiny bit, a computer bag, 4 kg spread out really thinly. Unpredictable. You couldn't find them, you couldn't smell them. The only way you could get caught is either being grassed up or you act absolutely mental and they drill. But they passed all the scans, all the dogs, all the smells.
How much were you getting paid for doing this?
So roughly it was £4,000 or £5,000 to Europe. But you carried a lot more in Europe. Europe was basically, it was more about knowing which airports to go to and which airports didn't have many people looking out, or finding out when, you go to an airport on certain days, there's nobody there, is there? So it's a little bit of inside knowledge of which airports was going to be good. Because if you got stopped with them bags, they would find them. They would pass the x-rays, pass the dogs, but if you open them up, straight away you go, that's not right. It's full, So the idea was you'd never look in them. They would always look in Japan, at least one bag. So we knew that. So the bags had to be absolutely perfect, and the bags were perfect. You would never, you could take all the clothes out, you think, it can't be in here. It can't be, can it, surely? But it was, because it was a small amount. It's worth a lot more in Japan than Europe.
Thailand was your base then, was it? You'd fly, you'd do the job, and then you'd go back to Thailand. And these Iranians then would pay you while you're in Thailand?
No, you got paid at the other end. Say, for example, you went to Amsterdam, you'd have a phone number, you'd ring them up when you got there, and then you'd arrange the meeting. So in case you got caught, you couldn't say, oh, I'm meeting Dave at the White Lion. It was all, once you did it, then you started the procedure of meeting the guy. They would drop the money off at the same time. It was a swap over. The first time we did it in Japan, we've got through and everything, which is another long story, but we did get through. We got the bullet train this is from Okinawa, because we sailed from Taiwan to Okinawa. Got through, and then bullet train up to Tokyo. There was 2 of us. So right, we'll get 2 rooms. We'll put all the bags in one room. We'll arrange to meet in the other room, get the money, and then we'll go and give them the bags. So we were shitted it as well. You remember, so first time in Tokyo, we're meeting these dodgy characters, and then I think we had 8 kg on us. It was $18,000 we were picking up. Now, in big schemes, it's probably not a lot of money, especially it's not worth being done over. But when you're there and you're in this environment, you're thinking, right, let's be careful here, because they might just take the drugs and just do us in. So, you're going paranoia. And then, so we arranged that, safe and sorry, we're thinking. Guy comes to the door, you look through the thing, oh, he's here. He's looking around, he's well shifty. I said, it looks well shifty here. I open the door. No, he doesn't speak any English. I say, have you come from, I say, I won't say his name. You come from such a body? Yeah. I said, right, come in. He's looking around. He says, where are the bags? I said, where's the money? He says, you give me money, we'll give you the bags. The bags are somewhere else, not in this hotel. He's going, oh, no. I said, have you got the money? And have you seen the scene in Scarface? It's very similar to that, where it all kicks off, except thankfully this doesn't kick off. But he's very confused. I said, listen, no bags, no money. He's on the phone call. He's going, oh. I'm saying to my mates, I said, what the hell's going on here? Eventually, he says, okay, I go. I said, yeah, okay, see you later, pal. He's off. It's another phone call. What's going on? Why? You give the bags. I said, we will give the bags, but you give us the money first. Phone's down, looking. Shit, Ray, what's going on here? So the guy I was with had done it previously before in Japan. The next time, there's 2 guys at the door. fucking two of them now. And my mate looks, so I know him. He opened doors, hey, brother, blah, blah, blah. I thought, says, what's his problem? Why? He's always never done it before. He said he was shit scared. He said the big bull one looked like he was going to hit me. I said, I was. I said, trust me, I was. That was shit in it. I had the 7-iron ready to clock him one.
And then you got your money. This is the first time, and then you headed back
First
to
time,
Thailand.
got the money, and that was it. So we had the money, we had to smuggle it actually back into Thailand because you can only take so much money in, can't you? I was worried about that. Imagine doing all that, then you get to and they go, what are you doing with all this money?
Yeah.
And it's gone.
This must have been a big operation then. If you're this like a proper international drug cartel, basically, yeah.
Well, I guess so. I mean, on paper it looks like that, but to us, we're just mates kind of doing it, really. It sounds a bit more giddy when you're involved in all, like that. You can speak like, like the Yakuza or the, we were involved with like other countries. I won't go too far with like South Africa and these other organizations. But I think on paper, it sounds a lot more exciting, a bit more naughty, but it's not really. We were just like a bunch of lads trying to stay out as long as we could. And then as it just progressed and kind of went a bit mad.
Were you nervous? Smuggling drugs. You must have been nervous, no?
Absolutely shitting it. There's two things you need to smuggle drugs: balls and stupidity. I don't have any. Still got a stupidity, but I couldn't even go through with cigarettes now.
But if you were nervous, would customs not pick up on that now?
Right, I'll tell you, this is what I used to do, and most people would do something similar. When I looked at all my mates that did it, I'm actually one of the very few that got caught. A couple of, more than one have died for one reason or other. And but they just didn't give a fuck because everybody was getting through it so easy. And the way I did it, especially the first time, because it does get easier, I just totally believed I wasn't smuggling drugs. We had the story that because we bought all the diving gear, we were divers and playing golf. We were traveling, we changed the passports from going to Nepal to the Maldives. So it looked like we've gone from the Maldives, Thailand, Phuket and everything, diving. Then we've gone to Taiwan. We were stuck in a typhoon, bad weather there anyway. So from there to Okinawa, diving, playing golf there, and moving away up the country. So the whole story was very believable because we went massively the long way around of doing it. So that was my story because everything matched, and that is what we were going to do. We picked all the places we were going to play golf and where we were going to go dive. And I totally believed that story. And once I believed it, I just went with it. It's like being an actor. It was only till after you just go, wow. So you are nervous, but you just believe the story.
In the book, you said, I was stuck in a loop where the only way to end it was to go to jail, and I knew it.
Yeah. It was going that way.
You could feel it coming, could you?
I could feel it. And also, I was having like trouble with a girlfriend as well. She'd done this thing. And even after the hospital, she stopped drinking. It was going well, but but still mates with her today. So, but like at the end of a relationship, that was done. It's all coming to an end, really. I do say in the book as well, I kind of do wish that I did it at one point. I think it was on one of my before the Japan one. I thought I'm just going to nick one of these bags because other people definitely did it. So if you nick the bag off the Iranians, basically, that's you. Excuse the language, but
they won't let you do it. They obviously won't hire you to do it
again. They're going to go give us the money back. You've stole a bag. You're never going to see them again. So I thought, right, I'll get to the end. I think it was when I'm in Copenhagen. Instead of meeting such a guy, I'll just go on the run and go to the dodgy areas of the city, which I'll always find easy, and say, basically, listen, I've got whatever 4 or 5 kg of Nepalese black and I need to sell it, or, you know, and go from there. So you're going to make the money off that, which will probably be 5 times much as what you're going to get paid anyway. But the main thing is, I burned my bridges, so you can't do it again. Can't get involved with them again. That, you know, looking back, is obviously the thing I should have done. Because, I mean, like I say, a lot of people did get away with it. But, you know, a few of them, you know, died for one reason or other. That's why they stopped it.
When you say died, you mean murdered?
One did suicide in Pattaya. Pattaya went, it was all coming on top. And he went to the shooting range of Pattaya. It's on camera somewhere. Did his, got the gun. That was the end of him. I can say his name. A really good mate of mine. Probably did it more than anybody, probably over 100 times. Didn't give a shit. He should dress as John Travolta in a Saturday Night Fever suit. But he died through the drink.
Right. Well, let's talk about how you got caught.
Now, I don't know 100% how I got caught, but I've got a good bloody idea. Basically, one of our mates went to South Africa, got involved with the, I'm not going to say Dutch mafia, but a Dutch organised crime. They decided these Iranians are making all the coin, let's screw them over. And the contacts that we've made here, there, and everywhere, the Yakuza, the Nigerians, it goes mental. They're basically, instead, and he didn't want to, I mean, rightly, he didn't want to carry on being a drug mule, but he wanted to be the boss. Me and my mate got news that he'd done this. He sent some guys to Johannesburg to go to Japan. We arranged a little meeting with him. He says, right, listen, get your mate back here, because if you start screwing all the Iranians, it's going to fuck everything up. And also, they've moved them from a little bit of harmless weed. So, Jesus Christ, my finger's bleeding.
I know it's time.
No.
Maybe
I've got my hand on the cam.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
Taste the iron.
Yeah, that's what get down with a bit of Guinness. Back in the old days. So basically, one of the lads is trying to screw over the Iranians. We told him to not do it. He said, okay, I won't do, blah, blah, blah. I was doing it with another friend. So we've gone to, and also when I would do it, when I went to India, I would stay for at least a week. I'd go down to Goa, have a holiday, go to the Taj Mahal, go do the tourist thing. So I always had a good story. Whereas other people, another friend of mine, another one that died, he died from a brain hemorrhage, nothing to do with anything, just unlucky. He would go Delhi, Europe, Delhi. This is in few days, get another bag straight away, Delhi, somewhere else in Europe, back to Thailand. Two dudes in one go, not even just go, I can't be bothered with all that. I'll just get it all over and done with. So, but anyway, the point is I would stay in Goa and stay for a while, so my story's all good. So me and such a body was in Mumbai, and we were told, instead of going together, to go separate. So and why? Anyway, basically, all the plans were changing. So we were thinking, what's going on here? We checked back at home in Pattaya if the guys, anything happened with the guys. Said, no, it's nothing to do with him. He's blah, blah, blah. It's all good. But what we didn't know, he had sent somebody else with crystal meth from Johannesburg to Tokyo. He's already been caught. So this guy's been caught. We don't know this. But obviously, somebody knows something, because they're all I mean, they should have said, right, pull out. One guy's been caught. I think the Iranians have found out what's been going on and grassed one of our friends up because they've got involved with the other guy. That makes sense. We don't know any of this. Tossed a coin, basically. But my friend had just had a baby, and I said, no, so I'm doing it. If anybody's going to be... Also, I think I'm only going to be away for 1 year. If I get caught, I've only got 2 kg of cannabis. We do knew some guys that get caught a few years before, double the amount and dodgy passport. They got, even though I did have a dodgy passport, I knew it'd get away with it, and it did. But they got 2 years for the passport, 2 years for the cannabis, 4 kg. I'm thinking, right, okay, if I get caught, we might be looking at 1 year, possibly a year and a half for 2 kg. It's not, it's not the... Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. None of that crystal meth stuff. I go there. I was the last person to leave the airport in Narita. I knew straight away, I thought something is not right here. My bags, to go via Hong Kong, we knew it was a quick stopover. They said to us, anybody going on to Tokyo or Narita, there's a good chance your bags aren't going to turn up, but we'll send them on to your hotel the day after. Over time, I'm sat there thinking, this is all right. This is actually a good little number here. So I'm not going through with the bag. Even so, anyway, they let me go through because they had to. I didn't have anything. The bags got delivered, not the day after, the day after that. And then basically, to cut a long story short, when I went for the bags, they nabbed me. There was, they were waiting all along. When I was interviewed and stuff, as it turned out, they kept on saying about this phone number. Do you know such a body? I had I've got it in, I remembered it. This is an old one, but my Pattaya private investigation card. Down, 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 down. All got blood and everything. So that, I had that on me. The guy that had been sent, I'd met him, the guy that got caught 2 or 3 days before me with the crystal meth from Johannesburg. I've got his business card in my wallet. So I've randomly over on the dark side, we've swapped business cards, chatting away, saying, what you do? I think he had some, when LK Metro were just opening up, he had some retail thing. I don't know, I wasn't even interested. And I said, I'm starting this PI thing up. He went, oh, yes, it's a good idea, that. I said, hey, I'm going to go with it. So we swapped business cards. And that's all I remembered it at. So they're on to me saying, why have you got this card? And eventually, we met downstairs in the cells because he was English and I'm English. I said, where are you from? He said, I landed in well, Thailand, really. Pattaya. I went, so, oh, my God. I says, the guys have been questioning me upstairs about you. I says, I've got your business card. My story was that my first time here, I met this Iranian guy, or Middle East. I didn't even say Iranian, I said Middle Eastern guy in Nana Plaza. And I said, oh, I don't want to go home. I broke up with my girlfriend. I want to stay. He said, oh, you can smuggle just a little bit of marijuana. So I do it. It's a one-off, a crazy thing. That's my story. But now I'm starting to get involved with shit. Oh, this isn't backing my story up. But thankfully, the story was true. I didn't know the guy. And it was an absolute random card swap. So I've stuck to that, which was, you've got to stick to the truth. What truth you have, don't build that spider web. So you start lying and shit. So we stuck to that.
When you got arrested, how long was it before you were sentenced? And how long were you sentenced for?
3 months. 99 days in the police station. Same cell apparently as Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney was arrested there, I think, in the early 80s or mid 80s. And apparently it was cell number 1. There's a row of 10 cells in Narita. And they said, Paul McCartney, he was in there. I'm doing the Thai voice for Japanese.
Right, 99 days in the police station,
days.
then sentenced for how many years?
Right, so this is What they do there, after all the interviews and blah, 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 you go, it's called a Saiban. It goes to the first judgment, and then you come back in 2 weeks, get the final judgment. So you got to remember, in them 3 months, there's people coming and going, and so you're seeing people that have done the 3 months, so you know the system there. You can speak as well in this, so you're not sentenced. It's like, you know, like American style bars, like these row of 10 cells, 4 to 5 people in, not too bad, just boring and like, but you can talk at the back of the cell. So we all knew what was going on, roughly, and a lot of people. Most of them was crystal meth, and so I was quite lucky. I only had that. I had nothing to compare, but they're all saying maybe you'll get 2 years, something like maybe 3 years. But the British Embassy, they came to see him on the first day. They didn't even know how much I was carrying. They said, "Oh, sorry, Stephen, but you're looking at 4 to 10 a year." Like, what? I said, "No, it's only cannabis. It's only 2 kg of cannabis." He says, "You've come at the worst possible time. They're having a crackdown. Some people have been caught and having a crafty joint. Some sportsmen, some sumo have been caught having a joint and disrespected everything. There's a massive crackdown. You couldn't have come at the worst time." Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway, get to the first Saiban, the first judgment. And also, I've got Kenya. Call him Kenya. You know what Kenya means, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so he's never been to Thailand in his life. He's got a Thai wife. Quite funny. He was a lovely quite old guy, you know, very wise. He was about maybe 70. It was cold, but he said, he spoke his little English. He says, "My wife, she called me Keniao." So, "Oh yeah, a bit of a tight ass." He said, "No, it means handsome." So I said, "Mate, it doesn't." So she's having, he says, "Well, what does it mean?" I said, "It means you're tight." But he says, "That's about right, yeah." So all that time, she calls him Keniao. Anyway, he says, "Okay." He says, "When you get sentenced, no matter what they say, bow and say," now I can remember it, "Go menesai." I'm sorry. Go menesai. No matter what they say, be polite. This is all you can do. It's very big. And I was right, I'm with it. Coincidentally, I'm banged up with Mad Max, another Iranian guy from Canada. He had a hell of a story, but anyway, he was a bit of a dipshit as well. He would ask every day for a cup of tea, and he'd say, "Oh, I get this mixed up. Ipai." He would say, "No, you're supposed to say upai, means fill up. Ipai means big tits." So every day he was asking for big tits. He'd be saying, "Upai, upai." In Kenya, I would say, "You keep asking, Mrs. Max, you keep asking for big tits. You're saying it wrong." So it ended up being a bit of a joke. Max said, "You keep asking them for big tits." When I got the sentence, they said, I was learning Japanese and I heard, so I was a bit okay with the numbers. I just thought, fuck me, have I heard right there? And then they got translated to 7 years and a 4 million yen fine. I was like, 7 years? I'm like, what? You know, I'm thinking maybe at the worst, I'm going to hear 4 years at the worst. You know what I mean? And then it's going to get deducted. To start with 7 years, I'm like, what the fuck? And they said, have you got anything to say to the judge? I'm thinking, no matter what, I've got to bow and apologise. I went to the up I fucking said big tits to the fucking judge, Anna. This fucking Max is drill. I've just got real. It's like, you know, Gomenistai, Ipai, Upai. I've got, and they said, "Pardon?" I went, I kind of realised what I've said. I went, I said, "I'm sorry, I'm trying to apologise in Japanese, but I've been I said I can only apologise in my own language. So I'm truly sorry." They go, "Okay." So like they didn't make a big thing of it. Like, fucking match, you twat.
Imagine you added on another year.
Oh, mate. You know, it is kind of funny now. It is at the time, and he also kind of mumbled it because I wasn't sure what I was saying. I kind of knew I wasn't saying Gomenisai, but I wasn't. It was only after I thought, fuck me, I said big tits. Up high. Anyway, 2 weeks later, I went back and I got a 5 year and a 1 million yen, 5 year, 100 days, and a 1 million yen fine. A few £1,000, something like that.
So 5 years was the final sentence.
5 years, 3 months, yeah.
Right. And then, so then you were moved in to a prison then, was it?
Right. So this is where it all gets very lost and confused because people are talking about where you're going to go to. Most likely you're going to go to a place called Fuchu. But before you'll go to a detention centre, Chiba. He said, "Oh, Chiba's supposed to be really good food. You're in a nice room. They have the radio. You're not sentenced then. I think you've got 10 days to be in there to think whether you're going to, what's the word for it? You're going to argue whether
Yeah, they're trying to gauge what kind of prisoner you're going to be.
No. You've got that time to, what's it called when, I think what it's called, to argue your sentence.
Oh, appeal.
Appeal. Yeah, you've got the appeal. But we already know 100% do not appeal. You're never going to get it. You never get the appeal unless you're genuinely innocent and you know you have some proof coming. Otherwise, that's it. Whatever you get, you're given. So I went to Chiba. Now this place, oh my God. So you've heard these stories that it wasn't too bad. It was like hell. It was like walking into hell. So cold, and there's no heating in there. So by now we're at the end of January. Got arrested 28th of October. By the time all this is done, this is like the end of January or even beginning of February by the time I'm in Chiba. It's so cold. You get put in this cell and you're not allowed to speak or anything. And also, with a guy who's called Mr. Roy, he'd been sent there before. He was only in for something and nothing. Some slight missed fraudery or watch on the plane. Anyway, he was going to get released, but he had to spend a couple of weeks in Chiba to go through all this carry on. As I'm going into Chiba for the first time, Mr. Roy's on the way out. I'm thinking, oh, brilliant. Because we could speak back in Narita. I said to Mr. Roy, "Oh, are you going home?" Mr. Roy looked at me as if to say, "Oh my God, please do not speak to." And as I've said it, all the Japanese guards have gone absolute apeshit, screaming at me. Mr. Roy just cowered down like that. I'm thinking, oh, what's going on here? And they're all coming like, "You, don't you ever speak in here, blah, blah, blah." All in Japanese, for what the fuck's going on? So I'm just stood there like that. And then they've shoved Mr. Roy in a box, and I've got put in another little box, and I'm waiting and thinking, what the hell's going on here? It was so crazy, like such a different environment. Then eventually, you get like stripped naked, and you get searched, and you get put. No, I didn't get put into a prison clothes at that point because I'm still not fully sentenced until that appeal comes. But eventually, so you get put in a cell. There's no clock, there's no light, there's no nothing, there's no view, there's a window at the back, there's a toilet there, and they just sit there and they just say, don't touch the wall, don't lie down, just sit there, do nothing, basically. Going, right, what's going on here? Where's all the radio and the people and the good food and all this shit? Well, people back in Narita was rumored to be. So I spent like the one night in there, so I'm absolutely freezing, thinking, what the hell? The one thing was right, he actually got good food. I got a tub of ribena and like a fish and whatever. I thought, this is quite good, this. But the whole environment was really sterile, like a bit moldy and clean, but damp and cold. And I eventually got moved to another part of the building. But I was in there for 3 weeks. And then first few days being in there in this, honestly, I thought I was going to go nuts. Nobody speaking, complete silence. Every time I tried to, like, a guard going past, say, excuse me, they go, damn it, not speak. So it's like complete silence. I'm going, yeah, but they go, no. And I'm thinking, oh, what's going on here?
So you just can't speak at all?
No, you're not allowed to speak at all. You're not allowed to look at anybody. You'll sit in your cell and look down. You're not allowed to do that. You can write, it's called a ganseng. So they'll go, write on a piece of paper. You write on a piece of paper, put it on the shelf, and they take it away and take it to be processed. So you've got a problem, you put a thing down, that they'll come, they go, they don't think they'll go what? Nanny, they'll just go ganseng. They give you the paper, and then they bugger off, you write it down, whatever it is, please can I see the embassy? And then it's off.
That's and it. Could they speak English?
No, not allowed to speak English.
So you had to pick up Japanese then to survive?
But you can't speak any language, really. It's complete silence.
And were you in a cell by yourself?
You're in a cell by yourself all that time. Eventually, when I moved from that hellhole, I went to a place called Fuchu, the main big prison. There, you're in a training factory for 2 weeks. I did a 2-week training factory. We shared maybe up to 10 of us. Some right goings on in there. Even though it's silent, you're in the shared room. It's actually warmer with the body heat. That's the one thing that's better. But all like the Japanese, they're basically all old school or old druggy Yakuza. And believe it or not, Yakuza, you're not supposed to take drugs. So when they end up being on drugs, you know, they cut the fingers off. They do a fuck up. I'm going to cut that finger off, it's full of blood. So they cut the finger off, give it to the boss, and then they have to go to jail for being on drugs. So it's probably 90% Yakuza in there. But they're older guys. And the way they act in the cell is very bizarre. You know, eating times, you're washing up, and it's all very regimented, and it's bizarre. The sooner you get in your own cell, it's a lot better, put it that way.
And what were these characters like? Was there a hierarchy in the prison?
No. Very, very slight. So in that environment, in that room, you'll get one taken over as the boss. But only any other time you got to sit there you do like whatever the silly job you're doing. You like make we made little bags and things and pulled stickers off. Silly shit, really, just to keep you a little bit busy. But you've got to sit down, do nothing. But so when the food comes, so all the food comes, you're fed in trays and you eat together. And then when it's come to a washed up, you have a big cleaning system as well. The boss will go, right, you wipe the floor, you mop the floor, you wash, you clean, you do this, and then that put everything away. It checks everything's away. You know, it's so military. It's very similar to the army, I guess, in that way. So that person is like elected as the cell boss. But that's really the only time. And once you go to the main factory, again, it's not because of the high up in the Yakuza, which they generally are. It's only because they're generally a bit smarter. They're good in the offices, or they just have a bit of clout about them. But the bosses are always called Tantasan, the Japanese guards. They are always the boss. And everybody else is quite neutral. If you do anything wrong, this is where they have you. It's called shobash. You get sent to punishment. So I've already tested what isolation is like in Chiba. Extreme isolation. You go from that, which is not even a punishment, that's just how it is. The punishment is, first, 1 month, you go to shobash, the punishment area. You have to sit down in the middle of the cell, the small cell, with hands on. So you're kneeling down, or your legs are underneath that way. So you basically got to sit down. You have to look head like that for 8 hours solid a day. You're not allowed to get up, go to the toilet. You can go to the toilet, but only when they tell you. So you have to sit like that 8 hours a day, and then at night you have no paper, no book, no reading, no nothing. You basically wait till it goes to 8:30, then the lights are dimmed, and then till 6 in the morning, the lights come back, and then that starts. So you basically do nothing for 1 month. And if you get caught, doing anything, like leaning against the wall, stretching out, or out of anything like deal, they'll go, right, start again. Your month starts from then. Say you've done three weeks and 4 days, and they catch you doing stuff, and they go, right, start again. So you got to sit there like that. The idea is you got to sit there and think what you've done wrong. That's what the plan is.
But that would send people mental. That would turn people. That would make you go crazy, no?
Yeah, exactly. Now I got away with it. I nearly went to Shawbash at least 4 times. But I got away. The only reason I got away, but I was in the tug of war team. I was. That's another long story, really. That's one for the book of why I didn't get the Shawbash. I mean, the smallest of things that you would get sent for when you went in the factory, you would have to sit there. You had a hat, take your hat off. If say, for example, it's mainly the Japanese, if they would sit down and keep their hat on, they would go, Shawbash, go. And then they'd be off. But, oh, fuck, Or you're marching away, you're not marching around. They go, what are you doing? Put your thumb has to be in there like that. Keep showing that dodgy thing. The thumb has to be in there like that. If you weren't doing that, they go, we've told you, you're not doing it right. Shawbash. And they'd be off. I would say one a day would be sent to punishment. And mainly Japanese, they couldn't stand their own people not because they know what they're doing. We could play dumb a little bit.
Do you reckon you had an easier time because you were a foreigner in there?
I think I definitely got an easier time because I was in the tug of war team, and we had a 1 day's Olympics, and also I was quite good at the marching. Generally, I don't know if that's the right word, but I was quite good at doing all the marching and looking like I was. One of my mates from Africa, Cameroon, he'd always tried to do the black dude swagger, and he was getting bollocked for it. And he ended up going to punishment. I said to him, mate, the only way we can beat this system is to go with it. Just go. I said, I pretend I'm a British soldier. I even got, but this was when in the first week in the training factory, I went, right with it, or I'm a soldier. I got pulled over by the big boss. He says, how have you ended up in prison there? What you? No, I said, I'm smuggling marijuana. He says, you're a British soldier. I said, no. I said, I'm a Brickie from Lancashire. He said, no. He says, you're a soldier. I said, honestly, I'm not. So he went, you're a soldier. I went, oh. And the Nigerian guy was interpreting. He says, just say hi. He says, whatever they say hi, yes, because you cannot argue with them. So I'm like, hi. Bloody daft it was.
You do hear, obviously, World War II and all that. You see what the Japanese were like during, especially with the Allied troops back in the day, and especially in Thailand and Kanchanaburi, they were vicious. Do they still have that kind of mentality that, like, when the prisoner and guard mentality, that you're so beneath them?
It's exactly the same as it was back then as it is now. Exactly the same. It hasn't changed for about 200 years, that system. I actually met me and my good friend, another soldier. We went to Kanchanaburi, did all paying respects and everything. I've stayed there quite a few times. I love it, Kanchanaburi. But you go to the graveyard. On our way back, I mean, you couldn't believe this. We're in the bus back to Bangkok. The coach is full of Japanese, a big family. And we're saying, hello. I don't think I've even met Japanese people before this. They're there with a granddad. He was one of the
guards.
One of the guard, not the guard, more than the guard, on the actual bridge on the River Kwai. You can't make it up. I go, no, I've got a photographer with him. So that's the first prison guard I met, was a guard that was genuinely on the bridge on the River Kwai. And he kept on saying, he was probably saying big tits to me. He was saying, it's like, go on this side. I don't know what he's saying then. He said, the translating through the children, he says, he's trying to say he's really sorry for what happened and everything. And that he was in Siberia himself. So he got to taste. So when they did the bridge, he ended up getting caught and going to Siberia. The Japanese guard. Does that make sense? And he was so apologetic, mate. So, a long time's gone. And we're not here to judge anybody. You've obviously come to show your respects. And he's crying. Everything. They're very emotional, the Japanese, really emotional. We were like, we're just thinking, oh my God, as if we're really meeting a Japanese god of what, looking through all that history. And it's an incredible experience, isn't it, Kanchanaburi?
All right. So how many years did you finish the full 5 years there?
2 years. I was 2 years there, and then a year and a half back in the UK, which is obviously a dollar once you get back.
And how did that work out? Was there some kind of agreement between the two governments, or?
There's an agreement. So basically, all the time there, all you're thinking is, please get me the hell out of here. It was everything about getting out, and it's hard to put in how long 1 week, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month is there. I could honestly say multiply it by 10, or like 1 month there genuinely is like having a year there. So all that time, even though it's 2 years, it's like looking at another life, another world, like a weird dream. But all you want to do is get the hell out. And the embassy are trying their best, Nev, but it's so much that nobody knows what the hell's going on. This is in the lockdown, when the lockdown happened. This is why I first did the podcast with Sean Atwood, because I always promised I'd do something to share the information for the people that are in there, because nobody knows what the hell's going on. And it's still the same. There's no information about the Japanese prison because it's such a secret. And also, like the internet world, people talking crap and they think they know what's going on. Nobody really knows what's going on, and that's where they keep it. So eventually, the embassy. This is a mad bit as well. The embassy, they came and said to me, "said We've got your flight." Oh, thank God for that. I said, "When is it?" Said, "We can't tell you." I said, "But it's in the next few months." And I say a few months is like, whoa, that's not good enough. I said, can you give me any clue? I said, right. I said, the World Cup's coming up. I says, will I be in the UK for the World Cup? It was the World Cup in Africa. He said, when is it? Now, I said, June. I said, it's in June. He went, so I can't say. But, right. Fucking yes, I'll be back for the World Cup. I'm not even a big football fan, but the thought I've got, so I thought, no matter what, I'm going for that. Superb. So this is what are we in? April, maybe May. So I've still got a good while. So at that point, there's a few weird things happened. I'm in the cell at night. One of the Tanto-sans come up to me. He said, Stephen. I said, what? He says, tomorrow, I start. So it's all in Japanese. I start. He says, you leave the factory. I'm going, what do you mean leave the factory? He said, I start saying, you leave the factory. I went, fuck it, I'm going tomorrow. So he's gone. I thought, that's it. I'm done. I'm going tomorrow. In the morning, we've gone to you go back to work in the factory. And I'm saying to everybody, when we get a little break, I said, I'm going today. No, I said, yeah. Guys come and told me. And I said to the big boss, who had a lot of up and downs with the big boss, but we ended up with a bit of a mutual respect because I was his main dude in the tug of war team. So there's lots of comings and goings with him. But I did kind of like him. He did kind of like me. And I said to him, says, I'm going today. He says, you're not going today? I said, well, the guy came to see me last night. And I went, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the hell happened. I never left. That absolutely did me head in, thinking, what's going on here? I started to think, I'd have made it up in my own head. Is it like an apparition or something, or a dream? I'm thinking, oh, what is going on? I thought, am I going nuts at the end of all this? The weeks went by, and then the World Cup came. I'm like going, what the hell? So the World Cup's come. Thinking about what have I got wrong here? And then after that, or was it before before the bloody volcano in Reykjavik. What's it
Yeah,
called?
Iceland.
The Icelandic volcano thing happened. Cancelled all the flights, didn't they? I'm thinking, oh my God, the reason I've not got there before the World Cup is that frigging volcano in Iceland. Well, what are the chances of that?
What happened then? They picked you up at the prison, and who picked you up, and how were you transported back?
So there's one more finish off what they did to me. In one of the main bosses of the accuser was like the security. When you're going through your cell to where you work in the factory, there's a changing rooms. And the guy said to me, Steven says, I think Thursday, says tomorrow, leave the factory. Thursday, you go home, going. So when you so please don't have the don't. So tomorrow, leave. Thursday, fly. Right, okay. He said, please. I mean, I understand. I'm not saying anything because he's secretary in our factory. So I tell her, I said, 100% I'm leaving. I said goodbye to all the guys. We can I say it's very limited talking, but you do build a good bond in there. In the morning, they said to me, Stephen, turn around, face, and then they all go to the factory. So I've got, so I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They take me back to the loony asylum area and put me in there. I'm thinking, what's going on here? I haven't got no paper, there's no nothing. So for them last 4 days, they've just kept me in there. I know I'm flying on the Thursday, but I kind of broke at that point. I started doing press ups in the cell and a little bit of shadow boxing, and then they're all going, damn it, cannot, fuck you. So I'm flying Thursday. There's nothing you can do. There's no, God, that's it. So the British Embassy said to me, it's the most expensive flight that there's ever been. I signed for, it'd been £1 million I'd have signed for it. I signed for £2,000 for them to take me back home. It was actually £800 in the end, but whatever it was, that's what I signed for.
And you had to pay that yourself?
They won't give you your passport back until I pay that £800, which when I thought I was looking at £2,000, £800 wasn't too bad at the end of it. So when they took me out from Fuchu, the guards, you're still cuffed and you're roped up. They take you to underneath the airport. It's like a no man's land. And this was, I mean, the lads were really good, these two officers, screws. The two officers, they've got like suits on, casual suits. The two Tantasan Japanese guards, and then the embassies, they do like a signing over. But the officers came up to me. See, I mean, you don't realise how bad I look as well. I didn't realise how bad. I think I'm quite fit and strong. I was fit and strong. I was down to 11.5 stone at this point. I'm naturally like a 15, 16 stone guy. I'm down to 11.5 stone. And they come and little tap me on the shoulder. He says, hey, you'll be all right, mate. You'll be yours, lads. So, and as if to say, like, and they were looking at the guards and say, yeah, we're going to look after him now, you fucking animals. That kind of feeling. But these two guards that took me, most of the guards were pretty good. And I got it I knew they were only doing the job. But basically, they stopped and got me a coffee, my first proper milky coffee in 2 years. They said, Steve, you want a coffee? I went, oh, yeah. I think it was a Starbucks type thing. I'm thinking, it's just not. I said, no. I said, these guys are okay. Don't. I said, okay, whatever. But it was nice the way they did it, And the guards, we got on the plane. What they say is, right, when you get on the plane, all the staff know, we'll go to the back. Normally, I'm also in my civilian clothes as well I came with. The belt, it was about that long, I had to put a hole in it, losing all weight. So I had to redo that. And and I was off to Wandsworth for a few. I got lost in Wandsworth there, but all that's like the normal prison stories, really.
And you were a year and a half in the UK.
A year and a half. mainly a year in the Cat D prison, 7 months in the shit system, Wandsworth, the Mount, Grizzly Risley. There was 6 months in shit. You're dealing with absolute morons. I mean, I'm a very big believer. I think as harsh as that prison system is, I actually, especially when I look back, and I really do think they have it right in many ways. It's isolation. It's time to think about what you've done wrong, whatever it is you've done wrong. I truly believe I didn't do that much wrong. Only smuggling a bit of weed, each to their own. But
yeah, that was going to be my next question. Do you have any regrets?
I don't regret any of it. None of it, one bit. I regret what it caused to my family, 100%, and also the family side to it. It's horrible. You'll get me going, Pete.
They weren't able to. Did they go over and visit you in Japan?
No, you are allowed a visitor. I had one of my sisters, she was coming to Australia, so I'll come and see. I said, no, I don't want to see anybody. So there was no phone calls. So you could get visitors, but I didn't have any. I didn't want. I said, don't nobody come. I had a lot of letters. I had so many letters coming through every day. They couldn't believe it. Like I was always getting called up in the factory. Like the big boss, he says, Steve, I've never known anybody get so many letters.
Do you value your freedom a lot more now?
I was always pretty good at appreciating life before, but I always knew, like now I've eventually got back to Pattaya, and back to Thailand and wherever I go, even like now, I'll have a beer or even a coffee. I actually miss coffee more than anything, more than the food, more than the beer. I won't even bother about the beer, even the sex. I weren't that bothered about that. It's just that feeling of freedom.
Would you smoke in there?
No smoking. And I had 2 books with me: Stop Smoking and Learn to Speak Thai. They're the 2 books that I had, and I wrote on it. It's got The Easy Way, Alan Carr. That's this really good book. But I thought a better way to go up smoking, get arrested in Japan for smuggling drugs.
What's your plans now? You've written a book, so if people watching this and they want to actually read the book, how can they do it?
Yeah. So hopefully it's going to be out in the next few months, maybe at the end of the year at the worst. Because spent it'll be 2 years in February. We started writing it. Really happy the way it's gone. That's been an adventure in half, writing a book.
So is there a link? If can people like if they want to get the book, how can they do it? If it's not out yet, well, how do they do that?
So I'm writing the book with Walt's my best mate. I wouldn't be able to do it without him. I'm not very good at English, and it's not easy to write a book. So we wrote it together. I wrote it down, and we wrote it together and edited it together. So we're going to go through both of us. We're opening it. We've just started an email now. We're going to get an email list and take it from there. We're in kind of talks with a company of doing the book, or we might. It's an early stage of the end process. So it's hopefully the next 6 months we'll have it out.
Okay, and what I'll do is you give me the email address or any links, and I'll put it in the description as well. So if anyone wants to get their hands on the book, or I'll leave it in the description box of this video.
Yeah, nice one, Pete. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, Steve, man, look, it's been. I love this story, man. Thanks very much for coming on and saying it. We have to get you on again to do like I don't know. I think we've only kind of we've only scratched the surface. We could do something Thailand related down the line. I think we get you back on again.
Yeah, because because I've lived a lot in Cambodia as well since then. I've had lots of adventures. Now I've worked in not only the PI. I was like a doorman down Walking Street for a little bit. That's a bit of a carry on. I've managed bars in Pattaya as well. Only this time last year, I was there in Pattaya and on the islands.
We get you on again then to tell us those stories.
Yeah, I'll get you some more blood next time.